Hello, everyone. My name is Michelle Despagne, and today I'm presenting my service leadership project for instructional leadership. The title of my project is ACE the EQ, Building Literacy Through High-Yield Instructional Strategies. This project reflects the work done at Farmville Middle School to create meaningful school-wide change in writing, inquiry, and evidence-based thinking. The project began with a clear challenge. Across Pitt County schools, we're adopting John Hattie's high yield strategies, but we needed a unified, consistent framework. Our data at Farmville Middle School showed that while we're growing overall, eighth grade reading outcomes were not improving at the projected rate. And so, for a little bit of background on Pitt County Schools' implementation of high yield strategies, every school is assigned vocabulary as a priority strategy, and each school gets to select two additional strategies. And so, we introduced a school-wide routine to incorporate writing and inquiry. We named it ACE the EQ, or Answer, Cite, and Explain the Essential Question, to strengthen student thinking and bring alignment to planning, instruction, and assessment. And so the goal was not to add something extra. It was to weave writing and inquiry into the daily fabric of instruction. Farmer Middle School started in 1975, and it's currently the fourth largest middle school in Pitt County, at home to approximately 680 students in grades 6 through 8. Seventh grade is our largest student group, and we have about a 14-to-1 student-teacher ratio. This demographic makes consistency, clarity, and high quality instruction absolutely essential. When we look at the 2023-2024 NC School Report Card data, we see encouraging growth. And so the school improved from a 48 to a 52 and met growth overall. Reading actually outperformed math in growth, and nearly all subgroups showed strong results. However, eighth grade met growth without meeting proficiency expectations. And this pointed to a need for deeper reasoning, stronger evidence use, and more consistent instructional routines. Our school improvement goal is to increase proficiency by at least 5 percentage points by June 2026. And to accomplish this, we're centering three things: consistent PLT processes, a robust MTSS framework, and the implementation of high-yield instructional strategies. And so ACE the EQ became the anchor strategy to move this work forward. With the use of all data points available at Farmville Middle School and in collaboration with administrators, coaches, and teachers, several priority needs emerged, and among them were consistency in core instruction, strengthening high-yield strategy implementation, support for math and reading subgroups, and increased use of data for instructional decisions. ACE the EQ directly addressed the first two, as it created a shared language for teachers and a predictable thinking routine for students. ACE the EQ is more than just a writing framework. It's a thinking protocol. And so it helps students answer essential questions with clarity, cite evidence with accuracy, and explain their thinking and their reasoning logically. And so our goal was to integrate ACE the EQ not as an isolated writing activity, but as a school-wide expectation visible in lesson plans, tasks, PLT conversations, and student work. Teacher feedback was overwhelmingly positive. Teachers called the routine rigorous, enriching, and excellent for reinforcing standards. Now, they also appreciated starting planning meetings by answering the essential question themselves, which was a process that needed to be scaffolded because teachers, with reflection and support from me, recognized how difficult it was to actually answer the essential question effectively. And so this process helped them to clarify their intentions for instruction and help them to align their instruction as well. Challenges were honest and helpful. And so some of the challenges that emerged were pacing, time, and the scaffolding needed for tier two and tier three learners. And so this feedback guided how I supported teachers throughout this process. Research also strongly supports this approach. And so, for example, Glickman 2018 reminds us that curriculum must be more than a mirror of the test. It should spark professional dialogue about what is worth teaching and how we teach it. And other scholars emphasize that principles influence learning when they ensure strong professional development and instructional strategy use. Robinson 2008's foundational work reinforces that the closer leadership gets to teaching and learning, the greater the impact. And so ACE the EQ aligned perfectly with all of these insights. My action steps fell into three categories. Under professional learning, I led school-wide PD, embedded support in PLTs, modeled lessons, and analyzed student work with teams. I also created walkthrough tools tied to ACE the EQ expectations, conducted observations, and provided actionable, timely feedback. And for systems work, I embedded ACE the EQ into lesson planning templates, MTSS, and school improvement structures to ensure long-term sustainability. We saw clear evidence of the impact of ACE the EQ at Farmville Middle. And so some examples were that teacher practice improved, lesson plans became more intentional and aligned to essential questions. Student work became stronger as students selected more relevant evidence, wrote clearer answers, and explained their thinking coherently. Most importantly, students developed metacognitive awareness. They learned why they were doing the work, not just what they were doing. And their writing reflected deeper comprehension, not just task completion. This project shaped my leadership in three major ways. For collaborative inquiry, I learned to facilitate deeper PLT conversations grounded in data and evidence, and I'd also like to add reflective practice. For meaningful change, I developed PD that honored teacher expertise while pushing practice forward. And for accountability, I strengthened my ability to monitor implementation and use data to drive improvement. These experiences helped me to grow into a more confident instructional leader. Our next steps for ACE the EQ are focused on sustainability. And so I will continue walkthrough monitoring to ensure consistency. I'll regularly analyze student writing samples. I'll adjust supports based on data, and I'll facilitate ongoing reflection with teachers. ACE the EQ has momentum, and so the next phase is deepening the practice, not just maintaining it. This project reinforced that when we focus on the core business of teaching and learning, student outcomes really do improve. ACE the EQ gave our students a structure for thinking and our teachers a structure for planning. And when both groups speak the same instructional language, growth becomes possible and sustainable. I thank you for your time, and I'm happy to take any questions.